How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Elon Musk and CNN host Chris Cuomo both hating CNN. This is kind of a funny story because it just kind of underlines how much Americans don't like CNN. It doesn't matter if you work there, if you're a prominent figure, if you're an anchor over there, if you're a regular normie, if you're a businessman, if you're on the left, if you're on the right. Nobody likes CNN. Nobody trusts CNN. At this particular point in time, TMZ and any other rag in the grocery store have more credibility than CNN. It's really a crying shame. The CEO, Jeff Zucker, has transformed CNN into the propaganda arm of the Democratic Party. This is like the Chinese Communist Party and what they do. It's really kind of a shame, but it is what it is. Now, let's talk about Chris Cuomo right quick. Like I said, CNN host, CNN anchor, a prominent voice on the network. He came out on the podcast and was talking about how much he does not like his job. Matter of fact, check this out.
I haven't come to any really hard conclusions about how change will look, but change is coming. Why? Because I don't want to spend my time doing things that I don't think are valuable enough to me personally. Like what? Well, I don't like what I do professionally, I've decided. I like doing this show. I like talking to you guys. But I don't value indulging irrationality, hyperpartisanship. I don't think it's worth my time anymore. Why? Because I don't want to spend my time trafficking in things that I think are ridiculous.
Okay, so you heard that. Now, that was pretty crystal clear. If you ask me, he's saying, hey, I don't like what I do professionally. I'm having some doubts. I don't like having to do this. I don't like having to do that. So he was pretty clear in not liking what he's doing. Now, of course, he recanted talking about, oh, I didn't really say that. I didn't really mean that. I love Jeff Zucker, this, that, and the third. I think what he's doing right now is trying to save face, trying to keep his job, and trying to keep the gravy train rolling from CNN. In that podcast, he's saying that, making millions is not really worth it. So is he a millionaire over at CNN? I don't really know, but apparently he is from what he said, unless he was just lying or if he was just speaking in the aspirational sense. Like, I want to be a millionaire. I want to make millions, but I don't really right now. I think he does. If you're an anchor, you're over there all the time. You're a prominent figure on a network. I think you enjoy what you do because you're making that money, but I digress. The whole point is that in a moment of clarity, when you're just being honest, when you're by yourself, you're isolated or whatever, you may have some real thoughts come out. And I think a real thought came out from Chris Cuomo about how much he hates his job over at CNN, probably because he hates CNN itself, but loves the money. Now, let's get on to my man, Elon Musk. Elon, I'm a fan of, okay? I don't know what he is politically, left, right. To me, it doesn't really matter. I like him in general. I like what he does. I like Tesla. I just like what he has going on. I don't know a lot about him, but what I do know about him, I like. Anyway, CNN put out a story talking about Elon Musk and Tesla had spoken about and or bragged about giving out 1,000 ventilators to California, but they did not reach their destination, the hospitals. And immediately, Elon Musk came on Twitter and said, oh, no, let's fix this. He tagged Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, and said, hey, sir, let's fix this. And he had receipts, and I'll place those receipts on the screen before you. You got emails in between Tesla and Department of Health officials in California dated back at the end of March saying, hey, were you able to put the ventilators to use? And then the person says, yes, testing them out right now. They're doing very well. Thank you. I appreciate it. And he had a bunch of more receipts than that. And if you are not able to see them on the screen, I'll put them in the box below so you're able to check them out for yourself. But he was pretty on point. He was even joking around, but being serious about, I got the receipts right here. And he has them. Their story about the ventilators from Tesla was false. They constantly put out false stories. They rarely do retractions. And sometimes If it's not a totally false story, it'll be kind of false. Like, it'll be something in there that's worded in a way to make you believe something else other than what is actually true. And that's not honest at all. That's not how we do business. So we shouldn't do business like that. You should be more honest. You should be more truthful rather than just putting out any kind of garbage you wouldn't have put out, because you are the enforcement arm of the Democratic Party. You are the Chinese Communist Party type regime, just throwing stuff out there that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. They also got this whole coronavirus thing wrong. I spoke about that in a previous video where they were saying, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. If you say that the virus could have come from a lab, you're not being responsible, this, that, and the third. Now they got to eat crow and come out and say that U.S. officials are looking into whether the virus came from a lab or whatever the case may be. Now we have information that's come out and it's more clear that it probably did come from there. It escaped, and now the whole world's in jeopardy. CNN always does this, and I feel like the reason why they do it is because they just don't like Trump and they want to just support the Democrats. That's really it. And at a certain point, you got to think about your credibility, your reputation, rather than just trying to push a political narrative. I used to respect CNN. They used to be a station that had some scruples to them. They used to be reliable, dependable, quick news, accurate, but no longer. That is over with. As long as you have that culture there of attack, not really trying to get out the real information, you putting out information real quick, try to be first to try and beat your TMZs and everybody else, and it's halfway wrong most of the time. This is crazy. It's like your favorite restaurant. You used to go there for a long time. The food was excellent. Service was great. Then all of a sudden you get new management. They get complacent and give you just garbage. Give you things that are worse than your worst fast food joint. It's worse than eating out of a garbage can. So you can't eat there anymore. At one point they were good, but now they're not. That's just how things go. So as I close, I want to say this. Maybe you can have a turnaround at CNN. I'm not really sure. I've seen some Project Veritas videos of some veterans of CNN that have said, you know, when I first worked here, when I first started 15, 20 years ago, everything was great. Everything was good. But now things have gone downhill. Maybe they can go back up the hill and regain some relevance. But in the day and age of old school media, TV media dying off, I'm not sure how they're going to accomplish that particular goal, especially with their reputation being damaged like it is. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that CNN are a reputable network and they have good anchors and they put out real information? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or are they not a good network? They're putting out false information, fake news, propaganda, want to be all aggressive and strong and bold and brash towards Republicans, conservatives. If you got a black conservative on there, they'll put a black liberal on there. They'll call you all types of coons, Uncle Toms on air. They'll cuss. They'll do all of that. Disgusting kind of behavior. Is that what's going on? That's what I see. I don't see any kind of redeeming quality of CNN. The only thing they almost do correctly is their written stuff online, and that is still poisoned by propaganda. And the question I have as I close for real is, where is propaganda coming from? Is it coming from the U.S.? Is it coming from a foreign nation, China? I don't really know. What does CNN stand for? China News Network? Contrary News Network? I can't really tell. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.